Stop killing me! What are you?
I'm Batman.
Tell me something I don't know, okay? Hi, I'm Robert Wall. Exactly 50 years ago, a teenage cartoonist named Bob Kane first created the character Batman.
When I was a kid, I was always interested in the innovative stages of the locomotive, of the steam engine, of the flying machine. All automobiles, all early innovations always fascinated me. And I saw this book by Leonardo da Vinci when I was 13. And da Vinci had a quote, "Your bird shall have no other wings but that of a bat." And he actually, there it was for me, a Batman.
Batman is a picture that has been a dream of mine and my partner Peter Guber's for many years.
This past year has been the realization not only of a 10-year partnership, but of a project that was there at the inception. And so it's quite exciting.
Come on, Larry.
Believe it or not, they've entrusted this entire operation to a 30-year-old guy who looks more like a lead guitarist than a leading director. Imagine having 400 people asking you 1,000 questions and having to have all the right answers instantly. Meet the amazing Tim Burton.
I just do a little look back, you know, because I want to see a little look back to the camera there.
There have been many scripts written, many directors, great directors involved with the project. There was a moment in time when John and myself saw Tim Burton, saw his creativity. The project began to gel and began to take on a whole new life.
Roll camera.
I've never liked the idea of making big budget movies at all. I thought Batman was, you know, it was one of the things that could probably sustain that, or, you know, that made sense to make at a bigger budget.
Peter and I always had a vision of this picture, which is not too far off from where we've ended up, although Tim came in and began to make all those pieces possible.
I wasn't a big comic book fan, but I was a fan of the image. I mean, there's something very powerful to me about, you know, a guy dressed up as a bat and taking place at night and all that sort of thing, which I loved.
And again, I remember when I was in art school, we talked about, you know, like the five images, sort of the word, the most recognizable images, and it was like one was Mickey Mouse, I think one was Coca-Cola, and I think the other was the bat insignia. So I mean, they're very powerful. It's a very powerful image.
It's almost impossible to bring a legend to life on the screen. Everyone has their own personal vision. At first glance, Bruce Wayne appears to be an ordinary enough guy for a multi-millionaire. So what makes him so different? He's also trained himself in body and mind to combat crime, turning himself into this fearsome creature of the night.
Originally, we had hoped to have Bill Murray play Batman. And when Peter and I saw Beetlejuice, we realized that it wasn't Bill Murray that we wanted, that it was Michael Keaton, because he had a kind of likable, attractive quality, but also had underneath an insanity.
And he had us.
Lights out! Now you want to get nuts! Come on! Let's get nuts.
You take it here. And then you tell me when to move from here.
Michael, it's going to be right down here. Okay, right down.
I've done 2 or 3 different kinds of movies by this time, but this is the first one where I was truly part of the whole puzzle and whole picture. Also, it's the first time I've ever experienced being in an undertaking that's this huge. I was at once a participant and a spectator. I watched very few dailies, but the few that I watched, I found myself saying, this is amazing, watching this movie, and then I'd realize, wait a minute, that's me in the movie. I kept forgetting I was actually in the movie, you know.
And you lied. You lied to me about leaving town.
Well, let me tell you why.
Let me tell you. You invited me out, we went to dinner, I thought we felt something,
Look,
and I
if you give me a
trusted you,
chance to
and I even slept with you. I can't believe I did that. And then you wouldn't return my phone calls? You must be some kind of jerk.
Look, you're a real nice girl, and I like you a lot, but for right now, shut up. I have something I have to tell you.
And I just felt with Michael, he's a very good actor, and the idea that he is a real human being to makes him into Batman. I mean, that's the whole point of this, is to that he, you know, he's not Arnold Schwarzenegger, because if he were, why would he need to put on a bat suit?
So it's not really 2 moves, it's not really 1, 2, it's just step. Right, yes, it's step, bang.
I couldn't hear really because of the nature of the cow, and you had to learn how to adjust within that. You're not really hearing your voice.
See that thing on my belt? Grab it. Whatever you do, don't let go.
Back position up in here, please. Thank you. Good as you can.
5, the other 2 up in that area up there.
Dealing with those rubber suits every day, those Batman suits, I mean, it was unbelievable. And to deal with all the physical aspect of this picture, because he literally had to pick me up many times, deal with me, all this. Well, I don't know how much that thing weighs.
Face it, you're not exactly normal, are you?
It's not exactly a normal world, is it?
Why did you bring me here? Well, you could have sent that stuff to the press yourself.
You're right. There is something else you have that I want.
What?
I love Vicki Vale because I got to make her up.
Something like this.
And that's wonderful. That's great. You know, I really enjoyed her every day.
You know, she makes it a romantic triangle. She makes it people dangerous and sensitive. I mean, she's just very, very, very invaluable in that way.
And you fall in love with her. And she has an incredible and emotional gift and vulnerability, sense of humor, and great strength that really makes you, you know, respect, admire, and love her, I think, in the picture.
I've recently had a tragedy in my life. Alicia threw herself out of the window.
Oh my God.
But you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
There is a great purpose for this woman, because she's in the middle of it all, and there has to be a middle. There's a beginning and an end. And I consider Batman the end, and Joker the beginning, and I'm the middle.
We made a movie called Witches of Eastwick with Jack Nicholson, and when we were doing the movie, I looked at Jack and I said, you know, I don't want to tell you about this now, but there's a movie we're doing called Batman, and you have to play the Joker. And he had that kind of gleam in his eye, and he started laughing.
Oh, there'll be a hot time in the old town tonight.
If there's any fear, and I haven't talked to him about it, but he might feel the same, that the fear is that it's such an obvious choice. Is it too obvious? And the fact is, he's so good, it doesn't matter. You know, I feel he's just the best.
Jack is dead, my friend. You can call me Joker.
The guy is gonna, all he's gotta do is show up, you know.
And as you can see, I'm a lot happier.
Back, you can be in. There they go. In. Planet. Spot.
He took that part and just made it, you know, people will see. He was wonderful. No matter how large he's become, you know, he's still Jack Nicholson, whoever and wherever he came from.
Put it down.
Look that extreme, you have to go in the other direction to kind of give it some reality, even though it's quite extreme. And you know, he's the best at it.
Wait till they get a load of me.
This is a movie that employed over 500 people. So there was a lot of work for all of us to do between the miniatures and the second unit and all the actors. When you have Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton, and Kim Basinger in one movie, you know, you got your hands full.
The whole point of a good prosthetic makeup is that the actor can perform the way they want to perform with no hindrance whatsoever. Any prosthetic is sculpted to the actor's own muscle structure very accurately, so that it stretches and moves and behaves, hopefully exactly like real skin does. Foam latex is made much like a meringue. You take latex rubber, you take a soap, and you mix it up, it froths up, and you add a gelling agent that causes it to stay up. It goes into molds and gets cooked, which makes it a permanent reaction. It's creating a sponge, basically, with the skin on it.
He always wears this evening tailcoat, but in a purple, which is like this. But he wears stripes. Wears striped trousers. I talked to Jack, and he thought, you know, I really like plaids. So we tried some plaids, and this one seemed to work very well. I mean, as you can see, it's not very discreet.
Some of the gadgets we've actually completed. There's still a lot more on the benches down in the workshop.
we just knew that from the whole feel of the film that we were into, which is this forbidding, masked character, the knight look, you know, that we'd have sort of medieval elements in it, you know, the sort of knight in armour feel to it, and then go for sheer brute force violence.
And on the main set, all the streets were watered down every time they shot. So you've got a lot of reflections in it. And the most difficult part of this particular model was trying to get that look to it to start with. And although we'd made the streets shiny, we decided that we would really overdo it, and we covered the whole street with oil. We've got 4 cameras on that show. And the problem that I have is that Batwing now has got to continue down the street and crash onto the cathedral steps.
Cut it. How was that, John? Here we have afterburners, which we have a combustion chamber back there and fluid we mix into. And we'll just show you one of the many gags we have on this. There's this particular shot we have racing towards a chemical plant. The flaps blow up about 20 foot in the air.
Everything that a young boy would just love to drive.
It's always important to me with these kind of extreme characters to surround them in a setting, you know, which they belong. So I always like to think of sets as an extension of the characters.
It's like New York gone mad, you know, if the planning commission had gone another way, that kind of thing.
He imagined it was hell had erupted through the pavements and just carried on growing.
When I first started talking about like the street, and how many extras we need, I mean, you You know, it could have been anywhere from 200 to 5,000, and I had no idea. I mean, one time I took a drawing and I started to draw little people in on it so I could try to count them all to see how many people I might need, but that didn't. So it's a new thing for me, yeah.
One of the gifts and the geniuses, I think, of Tim Burton is that he is very collaborative and works well with a creative producer.
The star of this movie is truly the movie. I've been saying that for a while, but it really is.
As John, who was on point on the project in London, would often say, he said, it's exciting to see what you've worked on for such a long period of time on the page really end up on the stage.
Vicky Vale.
Bruce Wayne.
And what do you do for a living?
I mean, that's what Batman is really for. It's for everybody, and it's a celebration. Batman, I just, I really feel good having been a part of it.
I have given a name to my pain.
Emotional, wonderful story about a wonderful character, a love story, an adventure, and it's a wonderful movie that just makes you feel good at the end of it.
My life is really complex.